Hello everyone and welcome. Today, we are going to improve your English fluency using a powerful story about two women, Anna and Lucy. On paper, they are identical. But in reality, one is thriving while the other is drowning. Through their journey, you will learn high-level vocabulary for life, career, and relationships. But we aren't just going to listen, we are going to use the shadowing method to help you speak like a native. You might be asking, what is shadowing? Shadowing is a language learning technique where you listen to a speaker and repeat what they say immediately after you hear it. You're like an echo or a shadow. Unlike traditional repetition, you don't wait for the sentence to finish. You try to mimic the speaker's sounds, rhythm, and emotions in real time. It is one of the fastest ways to improve your pronunciation and break the habit of translating in your head. To get the most out of today's lesson, follow these 3 steps. Listen first. Listen to the story once to understand the meaning and the tone. Focus on the melody. Don't just focus on the words. Pay attention to the pitch when the voice goes up or down and where the pauses are. Mimic the emotion. When Lucy is exhausted, sound exhausted. When Anna is peaceful, sound peaceful. This connects the language to your emotions, making it easier to remember. Ready to reclaim your fuel and master your English? Let's begin our story. Anna and Lucy went to the same college. They studied the same books. They got the same grades. Today, they even work at the very same company, sitting just a few feet apart. On paper, they are identical. But in real life, they are worlds apart. When Anna walks into the office, she is calm. She's steady. She moves like a boat gliding over smooth, quiet water. She finishes her work early, sips her tea, and breathes easy. But then, there's Lucy. Lucy doesn't walk into the office. She crashes into it. She's rushing. She's confused. She's dropping her keys and losing her files. To everyone else, Lucy looks messy. They think she just isn't good at her job. Now, we've all seen what happens next. When a deadline hits, Anna is already done. She's already moving on to the next thing. But Lucy? Lucy is sweating. She's staying late, her eyes are red, and she still misses the mark. Because of this, Lucy faces the backlash. People at work whisper. They think she's lazy. They think she doesn't care. And the worst part is, Lucy starts to believe them. She looks in the mirror and asks herself, why am I like this? She tried everything to fix it. She took online courses. She bought expensive planners. She tried every productivity hack and skill you can find on the internet. She thought the problem was her brain. She thought she just wasn't smart enough. But you can't fix a hole in your boat by learning how to row faster. Lucy didn't need more skills. She didn't need a better planner. What Lucy needed was to see where her energy was disappearing before she ever touched a keyboard. Lucy finally reached a breaking point. She realized she couldn't do this alone. So, she did something brave. She asked for help. She picked up the phone, took a deep breath, and called Anna. She asked, Anna, can we talk? I need to understand how you do it. And Anna, being the kind soul she is, didn't give her a list of books to read. She simply said, come over this weekend. Come have a meal with us. That Saturday, Lucy stood in front of Anna's house. She was nervous. She expected to see a house full of charts, schedules, and strict rules. She thought she was going to a business meeting. But when the door opened, there was no stress. Anna and her husband stood there together. They didn't just say, hello, they welcomed her into a home that felt peaceful. That Saturday, Lucy stood in front of Anna's house. She was nervous. She expected to see a house full of charts, schedules, and strict rules. She thought she was going to a business meeting. But when the door opened, there was no stress. Anna and her husband stood there together. They didn't just say, hello, they welcomed her into a home that felt peaceful. Lucy stepped inside, but she felt out of place. She was looking around nervously, almost waiting for something to go wrong. She was looking for the stress she felt in her own home, but she couldn't find it. Instead, she saw something that stopped her in her tracks. She watched Anna and her husband in the kitchen. They were cooking together, not like it was a chore, but like it was a gift. They were smiling. They were in sync. A glass slips from Anna's hand. It hits the floor and shatters into 1,000 pieces. Lucy froze. In her house, a broken glass meant a broken morning. It meant yelling. It meant, "Why weren't you careful?" It meant 20 minutes of blaming each other. But here, nothing. Anna's husband didn't jump. He didn't scream. He didn't even sigh. He just stepped toward her, touched her arm gently, and asked, "Are you okay, honey?" He handled it. He picked up the pieces. He made sure she was safe. It was so gentle, so quiet, that Lucy felt a lump form in her throat. She had never seen a mistake handled with so much love. After that, they sat down to eat. But as Lucy took her first bite, she wasn't thinking about the food. She was thinking about that broken glass. She was thinking about the bond between them, a bond that was stronger than a mistake. And that's when she realized Anna wasn't just lucky. Anna was supported. Finally, Lucy couldn't hold it in anymore. She looked at Anna and asked the question that had been burning in her mind. "Anna, how does your day even start? How do you get here with so much energy?" Anna leaned back and smiled. Her whole face lit up. She said, "Oh, Lucy, it's wonderful. Every morning, my husband wakes up and makes us herbal tea. We take our mugs and sit out on the balcony together. We just sit there in the sunlight, breathing in the fresh air, starting the day in silence. Then, we hit the gym together. We get our bodies moving. When we come home, we're a team. I head to the kitchen to cook and pack the lunch bags for the kids, while he gets the children dressed and ready for school. And once the kids are out the door, he does the dishes. Every single one of them. By the time we head to the office, the house is clean, our hearts are full, and we're ready to take on the world." As Anna spoke about her peaceful morning, Lucy felt a cold weight settle in her chest. Because for Lucy, morning was a battlefield. She started to think about her own mornings. In her house, if she asks her husband to make a simple cup of coffee, it isn't a gift. It's an exhaustion. He interrupts her 100 times. "Where is the coffee powder? Where is the milk? Which mug do I use?" Asking him for help feels harder than just doing it herself. She has to beg for every little thing, and even then, there is no guarantee it will get done. And it's not just him. While she's over the hot stove, trying to cook, the children are a chorus of interruptions. "Mom, where is my uniform? Mom, I can't find my tie. Where are my notes? Where is my homework project?" She is the lost and found. She is the chef. She is the maid. She is the calendar. She realized in that moment that Anna's life was built on support, but Lucy's life was built on despair. Every sock she folded, every lunch she packed, every question she answered was a tiny hole in her gas tank. She finally saw the math of her failure. Before she even touches her car keys to go to work, 80% of her energy is leaked away. It's gone, burned up in the morning fire. She walks into the office with only 20% of herself remaining. She looked at Anna, calm, composed, 100% Anna, and finally understood. Lucy wasn't a clumsy person. She was a drained person. She wasn't failing at her job. She was just running a race with 80 pounds of lead in her backpack. "So, I have to ask you, What does your personal Pareto principle look like? We all know the 80-20 rule. In business, they say 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. But Lucy discovered the dark side of that principle. She realized that 80% of her exhaustion was coming from just 20% of her life, those chaotic hours before 9 a.m. If you feel like Lucy today, if you feel clumsy, slow, or like you're constantly falling behind, I want you to stop blaming your talent. Stop questioning your worth. The Pareto principle tells us that a few vital things move the needle. For Anna, that vital 20% was a supportive partner, a morning workout, and a moment of peace. That small 20% of her day created 80% of her success at the office. But for Lucy, her vital 20% was stolen. It was leaked into finding lost ties, answering 100 questions about coffee, and carrying a mental load that wasn't hers to carry alone. But Lucy didn't just stay devastated. She took that 80-20 rule and she made it her weapon. She realized that if 80% of her stress came from that tiny 20% of her day, the morning, then fixing that one window of time would change everything. She went home, and she didn't ask for permission. She sat her family down and drew a line in the sand. She told her husband, "I am not the Google of this house anymore. If you need the coffee powder, find it. If the kids need their ties, they need to prep them the night before. Because I am walking into that office at 100% starting Monday." And she did it. She cut out the noise. She automated the chores. She stopped being the manager of every small thing. She reclaimed that 80% of her stolen energy. The next month at the office, people didn't recognize her. The clumsy Lucy was gone. The confused Lucy vanished. Suddenly, she was hitting deadlines 2 days early. She was calm. She was sharp. Her boss asked her, "Lucy, what skill did you learn? What course did you take?" She just smiled and said, "I didn't learn a new skill. I just reclaimed my fuel." Lucy used the Pareto principle to realize that she didn't need to work harder at her desk. She needed to work less at her kitchen sink. She stopped trying to fix her 100% results with a 20% battery. She realized the greatest productivity hack in the world isn't a planner or an app. It's a peaceful morning and a fair partnership. If you want to change your results at work, stop looking at your desk. Look at your doorstep. Look at your kitchen. Look at your morning. Audit your life. Identify the 20% of drains that are causing 80% of your fatigue. Is it the lack of boundaries? Is it the "where's the milk" questions? Is it the despair of doing it all alone? You cannot win a 100% race on 20% fuel. Go home. Identify your leaks. And start protecting your energy like your career depends on it, because it does. If you are not married yet, you have a superpower Lucy didn't use. Before you say, "I do," you need to look past the romance and look at the logistics. Don't just ask if they love you. Ask if they can find the coffee powder without calling you 3 times. Apply the 80-20 rule to your dating life. Observe them in the 20%, the small, boring moments. Are they a manager or a doer? If they wait for you to tell them every single step, they aren't a partner. They're another task on your to-do list. How do they handle the broken glass? When things go wrong, do they look for someone to blame, or do they look for a broom to help you clean? Do they respect your 100%? A great partner doesn't just help with chores. They take full ownership of them so your mind can be free. Marriage is the ultimate partnership. If you choose someone who requires 80% of your energy just to keep the house running, you are capping your own potential. Choose the person who makes the herbal tea. Choose the person who does the dishes without being asked. Choose the person who lets you walk into the world with a full tank. Because you cannot build a kingdom with someone who is constantly breaking your tools. Choose wisely. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Shadowing is hard work, and the fact that you finished this story shows how committed you are to your growth. Now, a quick challenge. Look at your English practice. What is the 20% of leaks draining your energy? Is it worrying too much about grammar? Is it the fear of making mistakes? Tell me in the comments, what noise are you going to cut out so you can reach 100% fluency? I can't wait to read your answers. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one. Great job today!